All I know is this violates every canon of respectable broadcasting.
How are you?
Hey, who wants to help me get this recorder out of here? I need some muscle over here.
You are listening to Blame Your Brother.
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to A New America. I am David, and you're listening to Blame Your Brother, episode 211. Much more jovial mood this week. Things have changed, and we will get into all that. Excited to talk about some of those things for once. But we are Blame Your Brother. We stream the show every Thursday night, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. Come hang out with us on YouTube, Facebook Live, Periscope, or Twitch. We're streaming on all the platforms for you, and we are Blame Your Brother. I am one third of that trio. I am David, a.k.a. D-Brew, voice of people, Mr. 40%, Glenn Jackson, the spiritual midget, the David Show, the reverse Yoko Ono, the man who will save America. And I'm sitting with this gentleman to my left. It's my actual biological brother with no African DNA ties. It's Lee.
What up, everyone? It's the one and only Happy Pants. Of course, LeBron's safety pin.
And then we have this other gentleman sitting to my right. It's our longtime friend, John.
Who is John? Who is Tico? Who is Groupon? Who is Mr. PTI? Who is the Madman?
They got John Tortorella, a madman. They do have a madman. Okay, he's a madman.
All right, we'll get to all that as well. But hey, we're starting the show off. David, Lee, John, thanks for hanging out in the chat. Thanks for downloading the podcast. And let's get started. A chance at the beginning of the show to offer up apologies, retractions, and omissions for anything we may have said or done last week that was off base. Lee, what you got in your bag?
I guess I want to say I apologize for apologizing to the Kardashians, you know?
So, okay. Anyway, Lee, anything? Just silly. John.
No, you need to apologize for that right there.
Oh, man. Okay. Well, I apologize for calling Lee John Lee, vice versa. All right, what about you for last week, John?
I think I'm good.
All right. I want to take my time to say that, did you know, John, that Lee and the Kardashians are universally linked up? Their daughters have the same birthday, which means in some weird way, they are connected through the universe.
They are kindred spirits.
Is that right? Am I wrong about that?
You're wrong about
how am I wrong?
Kindred spirits.
You ain't
just because your daughters share a birthday that makes you universally connected.
It's called.
That's a pretty shallow connection at best.
You've ever heard of the whole horoscope thing? You know that's like a thing, right? That exists, and many people. Watch your words closely.
Have nothing to do when your daughter is born. It has to do with when you're born. First of all,
your charts involve your parents.
Oh,
okay. So let me just.
You'd be in the same.
I want some record. Are you knocking horoscopes and astrology? Are you knocking that the art of that right now? Let's get that off at the
as
at
above,
the show.
so below. That's all I'll say.
I don't know what that means.
Of course you don't.
But can we say that for the audience?
Have you heard? There's a saying that if you're in a room with 100 people, you will share the birthday with one of those people in that room.
Then you're connected to those person. That's cool.
Okay. Mind and body. I think people that share birthdays can psychically communicate with each other.
So your sibling, a Brewington, and a Kardashian are psychically connected.
They probably,
according to his words,
can communicate psychically right now.
So
she was upstairs earlier telling me what they were eating for dinner.
So we are now connected to the Kardashians, the Brewingtons.
No, not you.
No, that's a
we
Brewington.
Don't share. Nobody shares a birthday.
We share blood. I'm related to your daughter. You understand that,
right?
It
only matters when you were born.
Explaining DNA and the hereditary line to Lee. You understand, like, I'm related to your daughter, right? I'm her uncle, right? You understand that?
Same blood flows through the veins.
Same blood flows.
No, definitely not.
That Mali blood is running wild, brother.
The Mali blood?
Mali, Africa.
Oh, what?
Let's catch up. Stay in course. So your daughter, it's nice to know your daughter and the Kardashians linked up. I loved it. I felt that's what the show needed. So
I truly wish that it was true that people that not only shared a birthday, but their parents could be psychically and universally connected. However, it doesn't work.
Your daughter and you
that would put Lee with Michael Jackson.
Well, they do share some traits.
You with Al Pacino, which is actually kind of cool.
Yeah, we do share some traits.
But I mean, like, there's...
That would put me with Ryan Seacrest, which does not make me happy at all.
How many people were born the same day as you in the world? Can you reach out to them right now and tell me what they're
What an ass!
Or does it have to be people that were born on the same day as your kids?
justice. What did he say? Order. This whole courtroom's out of order. What other lines does he have? I don't know. Come on, you know some Al Pacino lines. Oh, say hello to my little friend.
Yeah,
there we go.
that's
Yeah, there we
famous
go. That's
one.
the best one. I got the best guy out of all three of us.
Sure did.
Anyway, I just want to, just shake your hand symbolically for the Kardashian link up. All right, well, let's get the show going. Let's get it going. We got things to talk about. But we always talk about ourselves first. Why not? And I talked about last week that I had this immense tooth pain last week, like this pain inside of my head. Well, I went in and I had to get a root canal. So, people think like root canals, they always talk about them like in this like painful manner. They're not really I've never had one that's painful. I mean, they're removing the pain. It sucks that, you have to go and get, numbed up and they work on your tooth and da-da-da-da. But, that being said, they went and looked at another tooth and said, oh, well, you're probably going to have to get that one removed to get an implant. So that's like cha-ching money. So that's not fun. But
you don't know what not fun is until you've had an implant.
I'm getting one on the next week.
Sounds horrible.
Wednesday. I've already had.
I guess you had braces. That's like what, 2 years?
Yeah, 2.5 years.
Implants like 6 months of
Yeah, I'll get through it, especially during Thanksgiving, but it's a long time coming. So I just want to say, if you were out there wondering, I'm no longer in pain. Thank God. The dental staff was great. So
we can all sleep at night.
I mean, people were texting me. People were asking questions. They wanted to know. So there we go.
Did you go to a specialist?
I had to go to a specialist. Yes.
I would recommend anyone that ever has to get a root canal done, don't go to your regular doctor. Ask for
I've done it.
The specialist.
Yeah, I mean, the specialists were great. I've gone to other dentists before and did have pain for whatever reason. I say you don't get pain, it was afterwards, but this one has been great. The lady, it was two women that were fantastic, super nice. She apparently did a really good job. So thank you to them. Thank you for being pain-free. And that was...
Now, you've often told me that the only reason you would ever kill yourself in the world is because of tooth pain.
Right. Yeah, probably.
So, let's
I'm going to live a couple more
divest
years.
on that a little further. I'd like to.
Well, there's a documentary that came out years ago. It's about the story of this lady who had like 3 or 4 kids, and she was driving over a bridge, and she accelerated to a very high speed, crashed into the side of the bridge, killed her and her family instantly. And the documentary explores like why this happened. And they talked to family, they talked to friends, they talked to everyone. And people are like, I don't know. Like, she wasn't depressed, she wasn't suicidal, she didn't seem unhappy. None of they check like all the boxes. And one of the going theories in the documentary is that maybe she had experienced like this intense tooth pain and just couldn't even think, or so I don't know if she killed herself or she just lost her consciousness and whatever. But that kind of pain is like the most intense pain. Like, I mean, obviously I've never been in a war and had like my legs shot off. But
the theory was she had intense tooth pain and she decided not only to kill herself, but her family.
Either that or she was in such pain she wasn't able to control where she was driving. And so she just instinctively just pressed down on the gas and because like
weird.
This is like head pain. Like this is I can't think type of pain. Now mine, if I was going to scale 1 to 10 last week, was probably like a 6 or a 7. I've had 9. Like when I had the sinus infection, like back in February, I threw up from pain, which I've never done before. That was intense. If you tell me I had to experience that like 5 days out of the week, yeah, I'd end it. There's no way. I mean, or just become a drug addict and then you die either way it went. So, you can see like Kurt Cobain was in intense pain. He had stomach pain, but that's why I got hooked on heroin and like just dealing with that pain, chronic pain. Life is just about luck and circumstances and are you in pain, are you not? And I never want to knock people like, people are addicted to hydrocodone, blah, blah, blah. It's like, yeah, man, some of them are because like they're in a lot of pain all the time. Like you can understand that. Like most of us listening, walking through life do not experience extreme pain all the time. Imagine if you did like every day. Like John, you talked about intense migraines you've had.
Yeah.
Like I can't even imagine that. Like those are like, I don't know. I mean, I had that one and like I was puking, like literally. Yeah. So
what about Oregon, where they've evidently declassified all drugs? Yeah, it's like an addict heaven, right?
I'd be smoking that crack, baby, if I was in pain up in
Is that
North.
your pain? Is that your first love, crack cocaine?
It probably would be. I mean,
Yo, you got any of that?
I mean,
you got any of that painkiller crack?
for that, I mean, I don't know how you could get your hands on heroin, but people out there get it, so it can't be too. I guess maybe just drive over to the nations and just be like, I either need hydrocodone or I need heroin. Which one is going to get more bang for the buck?
Well, yeah, I mean, that's the question. Have they outlawed just the usage, the possession, or the distribution? Because if it's still illegal to...
I think they've decriminalized it, so that means you can sell it, right?
You just have like a little, like a popsicle cart going down the street. Morphine, heroin, crack cocaine.
Still get fined, so you got to keep it kind of low-key in the back of your trunk maybe, but, Well, anyway, so that was my week. I mean, that was a big thing that happened. And something else, I feel like something else happened, but Lee, what about you? What happened this week? I mean, I just preluded to earlier. Your daughter had her birthday.
Yep, exciting times.
What's that like in the era of COVID-19?
It's pretty low key.
You have people over? Do you have any friends over?
A few.
Say he's hesitant. With that, everyone's hesitant now to answer. Like, everyone's like, do you have people over? You're like, yeah.
I'm not hesitant to answer those questions. I just typically don't choose to talk about my family too much on the podcast.
You talk about your family all the time. You talk about your daughter more than once for sure.
Yeah, but only because you make me.
No, you brought it to attention that your wife was pregnant to us. We didn't even know your wife was pregnant when you brought it up to us. Am I wrong on this, John?
I think I might have been coerced into doing that, but regardless,
by who?
That's my stance.
Your wife.
Yes.
My wife. You could have just told us off the mic.
I could have.
I don't think she was like broadcast it to the world. I think people come to learn about us more so than sometimes the news. They like us, so they want to know. Like they're not asking for your daughter's name and your social security number. We're just saying, one day if she wants to change her name legally.
I'm telling you how I feel though. I'm telling you about what I would like to do here.
I'm going to go back to this. If you ever want to change your daughter, if she ever wants to change her name, I'm just telling you this. I'm never going to tell her to do this, but if she comes to you one day and says, I want to change my name to Dream, that means that she is psychically bonded to the Kardashians, because that's the Kardashian
Well,
Dream
I'll keep
Kardashian.
That in mind. I'll
Okay.
keep that in mind.
So anything else happened this week that you don't want to talk about? Like, I don't want to talk about it.
I mean, just the COVID. You were talking about COVID, but the COVID cases are way up.
Yeah, second wave.
I was going by Nashville the other day. They're packed out down there.
Yeah, they don't give a shit.
There's no mask. There's like party buses filled with woo girls screaming at the top of their lungs still.
People,
business normal. Even the police officers.
Dude, they had the damn CMA Awards yesterday, and I could give a damn less about CMAs. Like, really, I could care less. But as you get on social media and you just read stuff, you're like, well, a lot of people are talking about the CMAs. What's going on here? Some people we follow, and I don't know what the common person thinks, but a lot of the reporters and journalists thought it was a bad move to have this event with no mask, little to no social distancing, and they had Charlie Pride up there, who's an elderly man. Like, if he gets COVID, I mean, I know country wants to suppress the black man, but hell, I don't know if they want to kill the man. I mean, like, this is bad. So
next level.
Yeah. So,
it's weird because it was up and then it was down. And then did people's attitude change?
Because people were at least trying. Half the people were trying, and then a little more than half of the non-triers were trying. Now you've got half the people who just say, I don't believe it's really that bad anymore. I don't really care. I'm not going to wear a mask no matter what. I don't care if it's mandated or not, which a mandate means nothing. I mean, they can
fine you, can't they?
They can force an entire group of people for not wearing masks. They don't have enough officers to do that.
I mean, they could write up a citation.
Walk into Walmart. There's 200 people.
I'm just talking about like downtown Nashville. Hey, you can't be out here without a mask on.
They got enough people, brother.
Here's a citation.
If there's 1,000 people, how many officers do you think they got?
If they start going down the line passing out citations.
You get one out of every 20. I mean, you're still not really solving the issue. And cops, whatever, they don't want to do that. So...
Well, they don't want to do their job. The cops don't want to do their job. Surprise, surprise.
The second wave is coming, and it's no joke. And they're saying the death toll is going to double what it is now in just a couple of weeks. And I know the right wingers, if they still listen, it's all overblown and things. But look at the stories. Hospitals are getting overstaffed. They're not having enough beds anymore. It's gonna get bad. I just think for CMA, which is very, honoring Charlie Daniels, who was a damn right-wing conspiracy nut. Okay, he was, and Jason Aldean's up there doing his tribute, and he's a damn one putting out these conspiracy theories, QAnon shit. I think it's in poor taste. I think
the Country Music Association is in poor taste.
Well, of course, they didn't even mention John Prine the entire time.
They don't mention anyone that is worth mentioning ever.
I mean, bands... Glenda said, bands were canceling because they'd been around COVID. Don't just do what everyone else is having. Have the damn thing remotely, or don't have it at all. It's a bad look for Nashville. It's an underlying problem in Nashville. Nashville does not give a you-know-what. They don't.
Well, I think there's a large portion of it is the attitude we don't care. But I think there's also a report that was released that they stand to lose like $4 billion in revenue from COVID. And plus more, depending on, where it goes from there. So I think some of it is motivated by greed. Some of it is motivated by bad attitude.
I'm sure both. People are suffering, and it sucks. But I think the people that were attending the CMAs, I think they can squeeze by for the next couple of months not having an event. I don't know their financial status, but I think they're doing better than the scores of people being evicted out of their houses currently. I think Darius Rucker is going to be all right if he doesn't MC the damn CMA Awards, And they put him up there. Let's just keep it real. I know Lee doesn't like really address race, but they put him up there because he was a black man, and they don't have anything to do with black people. They've got like 4 go-to black people. No, Charlie Bride, Darius Rucker. They probably got 2 other guys. I don't know who they are.
Well, let's just talk about Darius Rucker for a second.
Yeah.
Do you think he's complacent in that decision?
Yes.
So I don't. Is he just doing it for the money? Does he not see himself as black in that regard?
What do you think?
It's all about the money, man.
He's green before he's black. Okay, and a lot of people have that mentality. White people, black people, Hispanics, they're green before they're anything else. They're about the money. And if people have to suffer for the money, when he was in Hootie and the Blowfish, I don't really know the man. I've never met him, obviously. But going on his body of work, he addressed racial issues in his songs, 100%.
So how can you do that and then at the same time be complacent to a whole genre of music?
Well, maybe he thinks me being here is helping solve some of it. Obviously,
okay, so that would mean he's not being complacent.
But he's not going to, I don't know, I'm assuming.
Maybe he sees it as a breakthrough.
He might. One dude's a breakthrough without,
hey,
you're right.
The fact that a black man can MC the CMAs, I think, is a step
They should have just had Charlie Pride pass him a damn baton and said, here you go. It's yours for the next 40 years, brother.
Okay. But where do you see, because country music has taken hits from that side, and they've taken hits from the woman empowerment movement as well.
Yeah.
So what leg to see, like, who cares what the CMA thinks?
The only thing I would say about the women thing is I know on the radio station, obviously they play a lot of dudes. I don't even listen to country, but occasionally flipping through, it's always dudes. But I would say at least the women are winning major awards like all the time. Like Carrie Underwood seems to win all the time. Last night, girl's name is like Maureen Morris or something. She won. In her speech, she talked about black influential country artists who I'd never heard of. But it's good she's shining the light on that. I just think they're tone deaf, and I think this having an award presentation they don't give a damn because they're isolated in their community and they don't have to interact with other people. And I thought, here's why I never liked country. When you look at someone like, pick an artist, people I don't even like. Jim Morrison, I don't even like Jim Morrison. Jim Morrison, let's say the Beatles, all these people are writing their songs, right? They're writing their songs, they're controlling them, they do it. Country music people are not so much artists. We've got some commentary in the top. Not so much artists as they are performers, because most of them are performing someone's song, right? Am I wrong about that?
Yeah.
That's why I think I've never connected with them. It's like I like the creator to push out their songs.
You're certainly right, and also the subject material is very surface level. Like a lot of you mentioned the Doors, Jim Morrison. Known as a poet, right? Like getting deep in his songs with meaning. you're not going to find any meaning in any modern CMA country awards for the most part. I mean, some of them.
Yeah,
do.
1 out of a million. I'm chasing ticks off you. I mean, it's like, bro, all right.
Chasing ticks off you.
Pulling whatever
The
the
hit
damn
single.
song. What is the damn song, John? I know you know what I'm talking about.
Brad Paisley.
Okay.
Ticks.
Thank you.
I'm going to check you for ticks.
I'm gonna check you for ticks. Here's what I'm reading. Obviously, I'm reading the Todd Snyder book, and there was a really good part in there where he was talking to the infamous groupie. I can't remember her name now, but she Pamela DeBar. He was talking to Pamela DeBar, and he's like, "Yeah, man, Jim Morrison, he sucked, And she goes, "Well, how old was he when he died?" And he was like, "Well, he's 27." She goes, "Yeah. Did you like everything you'd written him at 27?" He goes, "Well, I never thought about it like that." Oh, that was a pretty good perspective change.
She seemed
right
like she was a very cool
So
woman,
anyway.
for sure.
CMAs, who cares? I just brought it up because the COVID situation, no one's taking it seriously, and we'll see what happens. I mean,
So let's say the CMA calls up Blame Your Brother and says, "Blame Your Brother, we got you a front row seat, press pass CMAs.
hell yeah.
Are you down there?"
Hell yeah.
Okay, so you got no ground
With a
to-
mask. With a mask.
with a mask, without a mask.
He's
It doesn't
green
matter.
before he's white.
I mean, once again, they could have worn masks, dude. I mean, is it too much? But the good news about the COVID, and we'll get to if John's got anything to share in a minute, is that a vaccine is possible by, and this is for everyone, by April. So keep your fingers crossed. If this happens, this is a huge game changer. They're talking possibly available to frontline workers by the end of the year, everyone by April. Now, what does everyone mean? We know what everyone means. It don't mean everyone, but
It means you got to have that
yes,
350.
if you got the
You gotta have that
green, you got the
350.
green, you got the machine. But
I thought it was so funny too. Pence had tweeted out, "Hey, we did it. The White House helped," and the people who was it, like P. Pfizer or whatever, like tweeted back, was like, guys,
Are
you
you
actually
serious?
did." Yes.
I didn't see
Pence
that.
tweeted back and said they had like a fast track program where I guess the United States government was either funding, expediting the testing or whatever, and basically thanks to P. Pfizer for being on the fast track. And they wrote back and was like, "No, you guys never gave us a cent. You had nothing to do with it at all."
Yikes.
Which, I mean, that could just be them angling, like if they had taken.
They're probably no.
They probably had to have some deal where they had discounted
Yeah.
or exclusive rights. Who knows?
Screw pants.
Evidently, they got a lot of German funding though.
Yeah,
So,
that could be bad.
so the Europeans actually might get the vaccine before America does.
They deserve it. At this point, anyone deserves
For
it. over
sure,
us,
for sure.
Anyone's. John, what about you? Anything happened this week for you?
No, not really.
All right. Well, I'm going to present a situation to you then. I'm listening, and I swear, this is a true story. If I'm lying, strike me dead, okay? I've gotten in the car many times over the last couple of weeks.
How many times?
Oh, every day.
Many times.
But this story is congruent. And then we're going to get to the origin of your name real quick. But I just want to run this scenario by you real quick. I've gotten in the car, and I don't have, it's my mother-in-law's car because our van is on the crap shoot, and it does not have Bluetooth or anything, so I have to listen to conventional radio. I usually listen to either 105.9, 102.9, 105.9. If you don't know, it's like classic rock. 102.9 is like modern rock, okay? And so I get in there, and they play like the Mount Rushmore of grunge, usually every hour. You either got Nirvana, Pearl Jam, Alice in Chains, Soundgarden. Okay, I love that. That's cool. They always got like a modern band. Whatever. I don't know who that band is. But I've gotten in there, and they'll play Nirvana. Then they follow it up with Machine Gun Kelly, who I wasn't even aware was a rock singer. I thought he was
had
a
top
rapper.
100.
I thought he was a rapper. Machine Gun Kelly's a rapper.
He broke through.
Okay.
He got roasted so hard by Eminem, he had to get out of the rap game.
So I get in the car. I hear that. I lose my mind. I'm ranting to my kids like, this can't be happening. I mean, Nirvana's like my goat, I get in another time. Happens again. I'm like, this is getting weird. I get on Instagram today. I swear on my life. I go, I'm just going to talk about the story as if it just happened just now. So I pull up my Instagram. I go, they're following up Nirvana with Machine Gun Kelly. This isn't right. Okay. I send out the story. I get 2 minutes down the road. They start playing Nirvana. And I went, no, there's no way this is going to happen. Followed up by Machine Gun Kelly again.
Are they always the same two songs?
Possibly. Which, I mean, that would make sense, right? It means it's on a playlist that they're just playing.
So it's almost like you're being brainwashed and you don't like it.
What kind of world are we living in where Machine Gun Kelly is following up Nirvana? Like,
it's the same one in which we have Geico commercials, brother.
No, Lee.
Sorry.
Imagine you go see the Grateful Dead play, and they're followed up by
David, 109, 1075, whatever.
Hanson.
Big Rock, whatever you listen to is a green radio station first.
I understand that.
They don't care
that.
about what you love. They don't care about what you like.
I understand that.
They
but
only want one thing, and that's that dollar.
And here's the 3 stations. They want 3 stations, 3 commercials every hour. If you guys didn't know, gambling is now legal in Nashville. So every commercial is for gambling. And this is the commercial. You know, gambling's fun, and it can be exciting, and it's great, and it's fun, and just get out there and do it. And by the way, if you have a gambling problem, please call this number right here. And I'm like, wait a minute. How much fun is it if you're in?
So you don't like them lying to you in that commercial?
I don't.
You don't like when people lie to you in a commercial?
I don't like them. No, it's not lying.
I think I'm going to
I think they're being really honest with you.
I think you need to take a 4-year break from this podcast, and then we can come back and be on the same team. Okay?
John, can gambling be fun?
Yes, it can.
Can it be exciting?
Yes, it can.
So they have not presented any lie, but they sugarcoat it. You put chocolate on this cake.
You put chocolate on it.
You bite into it. It's a rotten onion, okay?
Yeah.
And the rotten onion is, you're in Gambling Anonymous or whatever it's called, because you auction off your house. They got that commercial. They've got CBD commercials.
I mean, it is way more honest, because imagine every McDonald's commercial you saw followed up by, if you eat McDonald's a lot, you will be obese.
That's true.
And if it was part of the commercial.
It's probably because they're required by law to do that.
I'm sure.
So once they pass the law that requires McDonald's to say that, you will hear it, okay? They probably should, to be honest with you.
Well, and then the last commercial is always erectile dysfunction. And I've learned through the commercials that 40% of every man on the face of the earth suffers from erectile dysfunction. So if I'm just doing the math at the table, there's 3 of us here.
Not it.
I mean, one of us has it. We've all had kids in the last 2 years, so I don't know how that's working out either. So somebody...
I don't think you understand how statistics work.
I'm being... Yes, whatever the word is. Anyway, the point is radio sucks. But let's get to a question from Twitter this week about John, because a lot of people always said, when do you guys let John talk? My brother-in-law came to me last week and he said, I love that story about John. He goes, but you know what was crazy? He goes, Lee was ready to interrupt that story before he even got done with it.
I did not. I let him talk.
No.
I let him tell
I
the
went back
whole
and listened,
story.
and Corey was 100% right. He said, did Lee just have some little bit aimed at that great story he told? I said, I don't know, man.
Which story is he talking about?
About being in Baltimore, being in
last
Section
week.
8.
Okay.
And Lee goes, before you almost get the last sentence done, he goes, have you ever thought about just put your lights up year round, growing out a white beard, and like all this?
I'm the one who brought up the whole topic of it.
Corey listens, and that's what he told me. I wouldn't have thought about it, but I went back and listened. I went, yeah, you were ready. I said, if you notice, I didn't say anything during the segment because it wasn't a moment for John to shine.
I don't know why you got to take John's great moment as a point to shit on me about.
Corey said
every
it.
time.
I did not say it. Corey said it. If you got a beef with Corey, I'll give you his number.
Oh, is Corey in the room right now? Is Corey on the podcast talking right now?
Every listener's in the room with me, brother. I don't know what you're doing.
Every listener's in the room with you.
I love every listener.
He's not even in the chat.
He listens on the podcast.
Every listener is in the room. You got that cosmic connection. You don't even need a birthday. You don't even need kids. You don't even need kids.
Why am I the voice of the people? Why am I really the man of the people? Because I connect with the people. But back to John. Lee's already hijacking again. I think a lot of people say John needs to talk more.
Wait, hold on.
So
I didn't hijack it. You fucking hijacked it.
We're going to watch the language, please. So we're going to have a segment where we allow John to speak and no interruptions from Lee or me, because I'm as guilty as Lee is of interrupting. So our question of the week comes from Adam of Podcast Roll. Look at Lee's like really upset, like they never interrupted. We interrupted all the time.
You just said you were going to interrupt it, and then you interrupt yourself.
I know.
You literally interrupted yourself.
Oh, people don't mind if I interrupt myself. They love that.
Oh my God, you're like the
Lee,
most
take
ignorant.
Take
You're
a
the most ignorant.
Take a CBD.
I literally was saying nothing, and then you took the opportunity to poke me and try
Lee,
to get me riled up.
I'm gonna need
again.
you to do three
So don't
things
do
right
it.
now. I'm gonna need you to take a CBD. I'm gonna need you to go bet on a football game. I need you to go get your low T checked. All right. So anyway, so we have a question from social media to John. It's from Adam of Podcasserole. Before I was rudely interrupted, it says we need to know where the name Tico came from. John, I will let you expand on the story.
I mean, oddly enough, you'd probably be able to answer this better than I could. We had a friend in high school. We've mentioned him before, Kenny, and he came up with it. But his reasoning, he said that somebody else came up with it, which I really don't know. I mean, I think it just sounded funny with my last name, Tortorello, Tico Tortorello. It sounds funny. Another theory is the squirrel off of Dora the Explorer is named Tico.
That was before. Here's what I
thought it was around the same time, but anyway.
Here's what I
Okay, John, your time's up.
No, he's looking at me.
Congratulations.
He looked at me and just said, "Help me with this
Your
story."
time's up, John.
Okay.
I think you got like
I want-
45 seconds.
I want
Congratulations.
John to either buy into this theory or not. There was a place called On the Border,
Yeah.
Mexican restaurant,
Mm-hmm.
and there was a bus outside of that place.
It did not say Tico Mobile
No,
on
it said Rico Mobile. I remember this. It said Rico Mobile for whatever reason. I don't know why it said that, but it said Rico, R-I-C-O. I think he took your last name
You just took the T
and took the
it's-
T.
Oh,
And it
okay.
was Tico. Because remember, Dora the Explorer wasn't even around. This is like 1992 or 93, right?
93.
So how many years did you deal with the Tico nickname?
Since 93.
Does anyone call you that to this day?
A very small number of people. I think your kids still refer to me as like Uncle Tico every once in a while.
They might.
We mentioned Corey earlier. He
Yeah.
pretty much addresses me as Tico. Just people in our circle. I mean, I haven't like distanced myself from the nickname. I mean, my emails. Even some of my Mormon friends
True.
know that.
How
an
do
old
you explain
nickname.
it to your Mormon friends? Like you just tell the story, or you're just like, just a high school nickname.
Just a high school nickname.
Okay, well, there you go.
It sounds like to me he doesn't even know the story because
I
it's
don't.
100%
I really-
had the taco tie-in. 100%.
Yeah, it was the Rico Mobile.
It had like a taco on
Maybe
the
it was the
side of
Taco Mobile. Maybe it was the Taco
think it's the
Mobile.
Taco
Oh, the
Mobile.
Taco Mobile, Taco Tico.
Evidently, neither of you know what
It was a Kenny story. Of course, no one knows what it meant. Kenny said, as John said, somebody in the halls called you Tico. That word doesn't even exist, bro. What are you talking about?
It's
So,
just a great
All right.
nickname. It just the great nicknames always stick, right?
I felt it. I felt people took advantage of the nickname and applied negativity to it, and that's when I thought it was time to let it go. That's what I kind of saw with the Tico nickname. But especially
It's
Corey's
just-
friends.
I think it's just a name that doesn't fit. That's part of what makes it so good. Because
Yeah.
when you think of like Tico Suave or something,
Or
you know,
Happy Pants. Yeah, you're right. Don't fit. Yet it's your nickname. What's
you
the
go.
story of Happy Pants? Glenda wants to know for sure because she's went back.
She's never tweeted about it. So I guess-
She said Happy. She tweeted about Happy Pants for
She
sure.
did, she
So
did.
I'm asking you, what's the story of Happy Pants?
I don't know if that one's appropriate for a podcast. You know.
Of all the stuff we talked about, I mean, next week we got somebody that's on
no.
OnlyFans. I mean, so
I'm thinking about getting the COVID before next week because next week's gonna be wild. Okay, all right.
Wait,
Well,
why are you getting?
the OnlyFans interview is gonna be off the chain, man. So
why are you going to get a COVID test?
so
then?
he can get out of
So
it.
I can get out of it.
He's like, I got COVID.
I got COVID.
I
I can't come to the studio. All right. And then Adam also says, because I tweeted out the video, which is one of the greatest videos I've ever made. Of Superstitious is the name of the song by the band Tokyo Pop Stars. It is a great video. It's fantastic. I love it. I do love the video.
I do too.
I love it. I think it's great. I think Ender did a great job. I think if we would have had more money and more people show up,
I
it
think
would
a
have been
better location.
better location. It would have been Blockbuster. Now, whose idea was it? Anyway,
I believe it was a collaborative.
I didn't say anything. Whose idea was it?
I think we all know what you were
I
trying
left the
to
room.
imply.
I came up with most of it. But anyway, all right. So Yeah, so he said we should have a fourth member.
I got to disagree with you. I got to give John at least partial credit on that one.
That's fine. Originally, it was we were going to come dressed as El Mariachi singers.
Because we were originally going to do it at a restaurant.
Yes, a Mexican restaurant.
Yes.
Yes. So, all right. Well, anyways, check out that video and then tell us what you think. All right. Well, let's get to the big
You just
thing.
got to
You
skip
didn't
over the
ask what it
question.
said.
Oh, you should have the fourth member on the show for a reunion. But I mean, that's really.
We can't even get this girl out for lunch.
Yeah, that's true. That's Joanna, our drummer. So she never listens. Anyway. But there's a question.
There was
Number
2.
Oh, yeah, okay. Well, there we go. We would love to have Joanna on at some point. And when things get better in the next year, we'll have her on for sure. So, all right, well, let's, what do you want to do first? Good news, bad news on the big news scale? Pick either one.
You have any good news for?
Yeah, we got
You
good
have any
news.
bad news for people that love good news or something like that?
Well, we can talk about Britney Spears, which is really weird. We had a guest on the show, Kristen Linton.
I'm just saying, right after we had that guest on, very recently, the clouds parted for Miss Spears. And I
No.
think we're part of it.
No, they haven't.
Well,
What?
she actually just lost a court
Yeah,
case.
she just lost the court
She
case.
lost it?
She tried to break away from her father, whatever it's called, the conservatorship,
Yeah.
and she lost that court case.
Yeah.
So she was evidently still a small child and capable of controlling herself.
I don't even understand it. Like, I cannot wrap my head around understanding how a grown adult who, even if you say she obviously is not mentally challenged to that degree, like just based on what we've experienced with her in the public, like, how is she not able to control her own money? I don't understand it. And I know it was explained to us.
I can explain it to you.
Okay.
The United States court system is a green court system first.
But she has the green.
No, her father has
father
the green.
has the green.
Well, she has said she's not performing anymore as long as he has ownership.
Well, we'll
over
see
it.
how long that lasts.
Well, screw it. I mean, just end up.
They'll probably end
penniless.
up getting a Britney Spears body double.
But they said they're going. That judge said no, but apparently it's going to be heard again. So we will cross our fingers for Britney Spears. But the good news is Joe Biden has been declared the president-elect of the United States of America. Regardless of what any other person says, the majority of people, other countries, all major news networks, the Pope is even in on it. The American people have spoken.
And most importantly, D. Brew.
Joe Biden is our president moving into the future. I'm very happy about this. I'm still hesitant to really be all invested because I still think this president we have now, you never know.
We'll not even invoke the name.
I mean, we just won't even mention his name anymore, and maybe he'll go away. But there could be some shenanigans going on here. I doubt it. A very low percent. I think like a 2% chance. But it's still like when you have that terrible boss at work and like, I'm leaving next week. And you're like, hell yeah, dude. And you're like, but you know what? They could stay. Like, so I don't know. What were your thoughts when it was? How did you find out it was called, John? When did you know that Joe was called as the next president?
Your tweet.
Oh, okay. Well, good. There you go. See, I'm breaking news. Lee.
I don't know. It's just filtered in, really, honestly. There was never a definitive moment. I mean, like you said, people are still declaring themselves president for that matter. So this might not even be the end of it.
What's your excitement level, though, getting this guy out of office?
Not real high. I mean, not have Donald Trump is, to me,
Whoever that
a
is.
positive step. Is a very positive step, but obviously this country has a lot of problems to address. There's
Yes.
a lot of disinformation. Our media system is obviously a mess. The bare essentials of what this president's campaign should have been was not allowed to happen because of the only thing that we could do is put on blinders and say Trump can't be president. We still have people without health care. We still have a corrupt police department. We still have racism. We still have COVID. We still have all these. We have, Mother Nature turning against us. We still have all these issues that really need to be addressed, and we don't have time to do it because now we're still worried about the man that was voted out of office doing something crazy before he leaves. And now he's inventing his own news network, and he's creating this undercurrent of like alt-right, basically fascism. And to me, it's a lot of racism as well. Or if you don't want to call it racism, do you want to call it xenophobia?
Both.
And it could potentially be more destructive than him even being president because. But I don't.
That's true. I mean,
But, and that's one side of it. There's also the side of it that's saying that he's going to be under a lot of trouble, the protection he had as the president.
Yeah, that's true.
But, I mean, there's also a lot of people out there right now that are posting online saying that Biden is a crook. The corruption is going to be much worse than Trump. And whether or not it's true, whether or not Trump is corrupt, right?
Right.
This country is divided in ways that has never been divided. And while this vote should have been a victory for the American people, it feels a little sour in your mouth at the end of the day. Because you turn around and you start to realize even the people that voted that were hardcore, get Trump out, get Biden in. Now what you see is people saying, I refuse to extend my hand across the aisle. I refuse to take the high road. I see this on social media. If you're a Trumper, unfollow me right now. After Biden wins, mind you, not before, after Biden wins, and says, I will not try to make amends with any right-wing
you understand this, right?
I'm not saying they're not justified.
The Jews weren't going to the Nazis after it going, hey, man, it's cool, dude. Like, to some people, if you're gay, if you're a Muslim, if you're of any certain race, this guy is really, really bad. Like, we as white people, we're just like, yeah, he's my crazy uncle, dude. What are you going to do? But, like, if I'm a Muslim gay man in America, I'm like, this dude is the Antichrist. Like, he's literally trying to get me kicked out of the country, trying not to take away my rights.
Murdered.
Yes, murdered. And, I mean, he's endorsing murder of governors in a roundabout way, an illicit way. I've never.
I don't know if it's too illicit.
Well, yes, I'm not publicly condemning it and just going, lock her up, grab her.
I mean, just like that truck that ran, they were surrounded the Biden, the trucks, and then Trump was basically, I love the way, it was like a Ricky Bobby episode. I love the way my kids are talking to you right now.
I saw some right-wing people like, oh, that bus is totally at fault. 100% they're to blame. I'm like, bro, what? Come on.
It doesn't make sense. But I mean, and I hear what you're saying. And I would never say the way that those people are feeling unjustified at every corner. All I'm saying is the path to healing is not either of those things. It's the path to healing is coming together. And until we're capable of doing that, and it might not be our generation, and it might not be the generation after that. Who knows? It might not ever happen. But until we decide that we're going to come together, then we only have a more rocky road ahead of us.
No one wants to hear what I'm about to say. But in 4 years, you're right, this is just going to be compounded. And actually in rural areas where they're having more kids and the population booms increasing in those areas, they're actually going to get more votes. So we're just going to be back to where we're at. The only way this country, I mean, you can't condone something like this, but a war would solve some of this for a few reasons.
I'm sorry. What?
Well, war is always...
A war with who?
Why do you think America became so great after World War II?
Wow.
Right? I mean, war does...
John, are you listening?
9/11.
The man is saying that we should go to war with someone.
No, I'm not saying we should, but John, go ahead. What am I...
I'm waiting for you to get to your point.
So the majority of military people, I would say, lean conservative.
I would agree.
Okay, thank you. Lee, would you say that's probably right? Okay. So the only way to kind of change... Right now, the country is split evenly, half and half, right? I mean, you can split hairs 51-49. It's essentially half and half.
I'd probably say... I'd probably agree with you, even because, I mean, normally I vote right, and I did not.
Right. So
same with my wife. And so if we had a normal person who was running on the right wing ticket this past election, I honestly believe it would have gone to him or her.
Right. So we're split. So in a war, like a war, I don't think there will ever be another war such as World War II. Number one, I think it's a more of an information war at this point. I think it's crazy.
I think you're completely.
I think when we
delusional.
when we look back to World War II, this was less than 100 years ago. There were dudes actively trying to take over the world, not subterfuge, not spying. No, I'm literally going to go to other countries and start attacking them and taking over their shit. Right, like on a grand scale. You can argue Russia's doing it right now. Yes.
We could argue America did it for years before.
Right. So
economically,
but now I think we're past that. I think we're a global community now. It's going to be harder to do, so to be done through money, cyber warfare, whatever. But if a great war did happen, it would thin the herd of the conservative voters.
What you're saying right now, I'm sorry. You cannot say that.
No, it would. I'm not.
You should not be saying that.
But it's not.
You
Is
should
it
not
not true?
condone war in any.
No, I just said I don't want a war. But I said, I think it's weird that peace is a progressive issue. I find it weird that peace is tied to progressive people. I find that weird.
I find it weird too.
So I'm saying,
I find a lot of things
I'm
that
like
are
John Lennon.
tied to political things.
I'm like John Lennon. Let's give peace a chance. But I don't say, but here's what I'm saying. There won't be another war. So we're going to be an odd at each other for a very long time. And we might as well get used to it. This is going to be the political structure of this country for a long time. And after every war happened, people got brought together. After 9/11 happened, I mean, it was short, but people got brought together. And sometimes those destructive moments bring a country together and realize, oh, we're fighting over stupid shit when this stuff's happening here. That's what I'm saying about war. It is weird that most conservatives are pro-Hawks when it would essentially thin out their voters.
I mean, it depends on who you talk to. I mean, a lot of people say all politicians are pretty much
Could be.
pro-Hawk. They're
Right.
with you. They're like, let's go blow some stuff up so we can get it on.
I just said I'm against war multiple times.
But did you hear Obama's statement? Obama blamed Trump on Obama.
Yeah.
It's crazy. He come out and said, like, basically the fact that America elected a black president is the reason why Trump exists, is because it brought out that xenophobia within the base and allowed Trump to sink his roots into that and come to a national fervor. And he said, without Obama being elected, that never happens.
That is
so maybe
it's a damning revelation.
Well, but
about
maybe
America.
it is just like it's always worse before it gets better. Maybe there's a more optimistic standpoint that these are just kind of like the initial throws. And, you know, you have Kamala Harris in there, who's both
black, female,
Indian,
South Asian, or South. I don't know. Yeah, it's. Let's look at the black and female. I mean, that's incredible. Like, that's the first female. That's the first woman ever to be in the White House and act a role like that. So from the chat, David, why is being conservative bad to you? Now, as someone who was a conservative many years of their life, I feel that this party is moving backwards on all the wrong issues. I mean, once again, the conservatives are the ones who don't want to legalize gay marriage. That's ridiculous. They're wrong on the trans issue. They're wrong, and I'm not saying every one of them, but I'm saying the party itself supported Trump on the Muslim ban, okay? So you can take all the issues that I disagree with fundamentally, socially, and they're wrong on it. They're wrong on the war on drugs. They were wrong on punishing black people and putting them in prisons. And you can say, yeah, but I'm talking about the majority of their voters support these things. They're pro-death penalty. They're anti-abortion. I don't know how that shit works out. They're anti-gay marriage. It's just a mishmash of things that it's because they've tied religion, their fake religion, into what it is. Like, they've tied all these things that they think that's in the Bible, and they're like, we're going to push this forward. Like, get off your high horse. Let people live how they want to. If you want to go live your own life, that's the beauty of America. That's why we came here in the first place.
And just for the record, I feel like most people are not, like, both parties, be it conservatives or progressives, whatever you want to call it, Republican, Democrats, at this point, is there a different? I feel like both parties have become more extreme. And I feel like most people are actually more moderate, more trend toward that middle. But for some reason, the party itself has to align itself, like you said, like a war. You have to pick a side.
You're right. Yeah.
If you're anti-abortion, I'm going to be pro-life. And if you're in this camp, you had better be pro-life or you'd better be anti-abortion. And there is no middle ground there. While most of us probably, if you're conservative, you don't tick off every box on a Republican card.
That's true.
And ultimately, I think it's going to come down to, we're going to realize that a two-party system doesn't serve this country. I had an idea. Let me run it by you. Instead of having one president, right, we have three branches of the government. Why not have three presidents? Why not have three presidents? And then, you know, it's not like a yay or nay. It depends on the percentage of votes. So if Donald Trump got 47%, you know, he would be, you know, the top three percentages. Bam, right in there. Equal power.
Well, I mean,
you know, if they can't use
a parliament system.
They can't use their presidential pardon or power for whatever.
Lee,
they all have to come together and agree.
Lee, we can't even get Healthcare for America. You think people are going to let 3 presidents get in office? I've said before, the winner should be president, the loser should be vice president, but they have to come together and decide on issues
Well, that's
together.
okay. So that's 2 people. You say 2 people.
Well, it's
I just
already-
say 3 makes
Well,
it
it's already
a
2.
tiebreaker.
No tiebreakers. Screw it. Either it's like a marriage, baby. You either
I'm just
either
saying,
in or you're out.
I mean, the only problem I'm saying with one is it just seems to be, and the problem isn't 3 presidents. If they were all the same party, would be the same
Lee,
thing.
the president
right?
doesn't even have that much authority.
What if-
truthfully?
What if you didn't have a running mate? What if you had to vote for the vice president as well, and the vice president had more power?
more power?
So we're basically talking
like
about
more
two-
power than he has.
Take
now.
some of the
2
president's
presidents.
powers and
2
add
presidents.
Let's
the-
just. I got an idea.
2 presidents.
You people that
3
are
is
listening
what
or
we need.
not, you need to show up and vote for your Senate and House votes instead of, I vote once every 4 years. Well, you're the problem. You're the problem. Get out and vote for your Senate. Vote for your House. Vote for your local people. This is how the system has been
I kind
set
of want to
up.
agree with you, but most people have no idea who's on the ticket. They don't look at names. They look at R and they look at D.
Well, that's true.
And honestly, that's part of the problem is no one understands what these people are. Like, look at Donald Trump. He said, this is what we're going to do when I get president. He did he do any? I mean, I guess he tried, but
What did he do?
he said we're going to build a wall. and
He
make
built
Mexico
15
build a wall.
miles of a wall. Like, that's the entirety of Mexico. Get off of it, dude.
I'm just saying we don't really know. And at a local level, at the House and the Senate level, it gets even worse.
Just pay attention or shut up. Here's my thing. Pay attention or don't comment on it. That should be the criteria. Like now, new social media. If you get on there, you must answer these political questions. And if you don't answer them, you can't post. You're done. And it has to be about local things in your area or federal things. If you don't know the answer, you're done. You can't comment on it.
Well, I mean, Twitter was doing something like kind of close, whereas if you had not read like the article and you went to post about it, it would like pop up a warning and said, do you want to read the article before you post about it? I mean, you could flag even like someone posted about something and they actually never clicked through. You could see I only read the headline or they spent like 5 minutes reading the story or they read the story 3 times.
That wouldn't be bad. We're just screwed, man. I mean, you're right. I mean, I'm excited that the guy I'm not talking about is getting out of office because I think at least we can try to work toward a better. But he's just going to come back in 4 years, and the Republican
maybe.
Party.
4 years is a long time.
The quote Lee, the Republican Party is licking the boot, okay? And they know he's the boot man right now, and they got to lick that boot in 4 years.
I don't know. I would say I've seen more. Even Fox News pretty much threw him
because you know
off
why?
the
Because
ship.
they've lost. But when he gets back to where he can win again, they'll lick that boot again.
That's true.
Well, anyways, good luck, Joe. You're going to need it. All right. Well, let's get to the sad story. A very prominent individual passed away this week. It's, of Jeopardy fame. Alex Trebek passed away of cancer after a pretty lengthy battle with it. And, there's not many people that come along and transcend pop culture or society such as an Alex Trebek. Like, if you're talking Mount Rushmore of, like, game show host,
Yeah.
up there. No, it's not even close, So, the country came to love him just for his... That's a man you really want. It's like leading you. Like it was never really, he could have talked down to the contestants, which other game shows did. He never really did. He always was kind of like, yeah, here's the right answer, whatever. So he passed away. So I guess, John, I mean, you obviously love Jeopardy. You did your intro with all questions. What are your thoughts on Mr. Alex Trebek?
When I was real young, Wheel of Fortune was my go-to. I watched it with my mom a lot. But once I got a little bit older, Jeopardy took hold, and I was all about Jeopardy. And Alex just seemed like almost like a grandfather that had wisdom. I mean, he didn't know every answer. You knew he had the cards, and he knew the answers because they were given to him. But there was just the way he carried himself. He had a dry wit, and so he just. It's just somebody that you could probably just imagine just sitting around a fire and just wanting him to tell you stories.
I guess, yeah, it's pretty good. Lee?
I will say the dry wit. I saw several clips posted and, celebrating his life. And, man, some of the things that he said to people and just, I guess it either was because it was the show or he knew, You know, he was so good at like, you know, connecting with people that he knew what he could get away with.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's definitely something I'm not very good at. So, yeah, I mean, it's really sad. Obviously, storied career. You know, I don't think that show will ever be the same without him. So, and like you said, he was in so many people's houses, basically part of their family.
They should call. I just think they should call the show. I've heard LeVar Burton's going to be the next host, and
I mean, I think they should give someone else a try. You know,
just call it.
It's fine.
Call it, man.
It's a good show. It's a good format.
You know, the only band that really did it right over all the years was like Led Zeppelin. When Bonham died, they're like, we're done. We're done, dude. Okay, he was an integral part of this band. We're done. There's no more Led Zeppelin. Jeopardy. It's over, dude. Go find another show. It's not going to be the same.
I feel like Price is Right. They said the same thing, and it's not been the same show.
Okay, thank you.
It's not been the same show, but it's still a show.
And it's not. I love Drew Carey. I think he's
okay. You know, call it then. He's
good in the show, but that show is nowhere near Bob Barker levels. Yeah. All right.
Rip.
Now,
Alex Trebek.
The exception will be Family Feud's pretty good with Steve Harvey on it. But it's a different show.
No.
Oh,
I will never.
Who's your favorite Family Feud host then?
What's his face? I don't.
Exactly. Who's your favorite Family Feud host?
I mean, Steve Harvey brings a different flavor to it.
Thank you. But you can't name another one.
But I mean,
this is like voting for Trump when you start praising Steve Harvey.
Oh, he's hilarious. What do you have against Steve Harvey? Wait a minute. Hold on now. This is going a different.
The man is the Donald Trump of game show hosts.
Oh, Lee, you should.
I'm telling you, do a little research.
Apologize for that.
Do a little research. He's not a good man.
What does that mean? I'm not doing research. I want you to tell me, if you say a statement like that about somebody, you must come with at least one fact to why you don't like him. What does he do?
He's just not a good man.
What does it mean?
I've never met the guy. I've only read stories online. You can read them too.
All right, I'm going to play this clip from Jeopardy. Hopefully we can get it. I can't hear it. Oh, here we go. This is my favorite clip here. Here we go. All right, here we go.
Yeah. It's people who identify as nerdy, rapping about the things they love, video games, science fiction, having a hard time meeting romantic partners. You know, it's really catchy and fun.
Losers, in other words.
That's so weird. But anyway, she was basically saying she's a fan of nerdcore. He's like, so basically you're a loser. That's great.
One of the clips I saw.
That's great. I want one fact about Steve Harvey.
You go look.
No, you said it. Lee, you can't run people down like that without having something.
I believe I just did.
You need to apologize. You need to write that down. I will
never apologize to Steve Harvey.
I mean, if you told me something, if
you want to do a whole episode on it, we can do a whole episode. But I'm not going to sit here and.
I mean, do you have one thing that you would say that for?
No,
I think that's wild. That's like a Donald Trump thing you're doing right there. You're like, all Muslims are bad. It's like, can you give me a reason? Well, they're just are, man. Just look it up.
I mean, do you want me to like compile a list? I don't have anything to pull off the top of my head.
Why do you say he's a bad dude?
Just the stuff he said, the stuff he's done, the stories that have come out.
Okay. He is a brief history of Steve Harvey being truly awful. Well, the first picture is him and Donald Trump. So, I mean, I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm saying give me one thing where I can be like, yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you. So he's just basically like
he beat a seal with a bat.
Okay, well that's
a baby seal.
Oh, he had racist bits about Asians. Okay, well there you go. I'm not disagreeing with you. I said give me something where I could go, oh yeah, but he's still funny on that show, and I don't know.
So all's forgiven for you.
No, I mean I'll have to.
I mean you've said it in the past. What the comedian
separate
that
the art
dick out that you said
separate the art from the artist at some point.
Always.
I mean
always for you.
I just named Led Zeppelin. They're banging 14-year-olds. People love them. Interesting. So, all right. Well, rest in peace, Alex Trebek, who is the GOAT of game show host.
RIP.
All right. Well, there we go. No Dear John this week. No one wrote in, but hopefully you will write in next week with your Dear John. We need those. So send those to bybpod@gmail.com. Or as we start to wrap things up, you can go to the website, bybpod.com. That's bybpod.com. That is Blame Your Brother. That is our website where you can catch all of our past episodes. You can get on there and follow us on social media, catch us on YouTube, watch the show live every Thursday night, 8 p.m. There's an Amazon link, and like John will tell you, you need to use that to buy all kinds of Amazon crap, and we get a small percentage.
Christmas presents. It's the time of the year.
No reason not to do it, especially if you're a diehard listener in the chat. Use that link, please. You can get shirts, hats, face masks, leggings. We've got a bunch of things at our BYB merchandise store. And there's a spot on there where you can email us. So if you have a question for John, or if you want to know why Lee doesn't like Steve Harvey, you can write in right there and ask us about it, and ask Lee about the 3-president party system he's got. Maybe we could be those 3 presidents. And if you want to sign up for an email list, which never goes out, that's on there as well. But tons of great things on there, bybpod.com. Rate, review, subscribe to the podcast. Tell all of your friends about it. And with all that being said, Lee, is there anything else?
Don't blame yourself when you can blame your brother.
Welcome to Memory of the Week. Today is Thursday, November 12th, 317th day of 2020, 49 days on November 12th. Murray skeleton started listed the Monaco born that is David, Johnny, back to you.
I'm Donald Trump, and I approve this message.
Woo!